We're gonna find our way into half saddle to start with today. So half saddle is, it's half hero pose, or I guess it would be a quarter hero pose. So you can sit either with your heel on the outside of your buttocks with your left leg and stretch your right leg straight forward, or you can even sit on your heel. And then you're gonna come back to your elbows, if that's okay for you. And if you have a little bit more, you can lie all the way down. Nice. And you also don't have to lie all the way down, Lily. So just see where it's at. If you need an alternative, we'll give you one. I don't know. Probably me. And then just take a full inhale, and with your exhale, just sigh out. Oh. And for this first pose, just close your eyes and just notice with your other senses, the room that you're in or the outside patio you're on. Notice the smells, the sounds. If it's too much to lie back, you also can lie on your belly, and you can pull your heel towards your buttocks. And it's a nice way to get the stretch in the front of your thigh. And start to turn your senses inward. Noticing maybe you've been up for hours, maybe you just woke up. And Neil, you can do one leg at a time. And then take a couple moments, even if you don't remember, just to try and feel into, can you remember your dreams? Or do you remember a feeling you woke up with this morning? Or an image even? And then take a couple moments and notice the feelings in your heart this morning. And then slowly lift up, and we're going to change our legs. So you're going to stretch your left leg forward, your right leg back. Of course, if you did it opposite, I'd like you to do the opposite again. Sitting on your heel or grabbing your opposite heel towards your buttocks, and then come back onto your elbows, let your head drop back if it's okay for your neck, and then lay back down onto your back. So take a couple moments and notice how your physical body's feeling. And then notice that you can do something internally that you can't even say properly, but like check in and see how your thinking, your feeling, and your physical body fit together, how the fullness is of your whole being this morning. Is your heart and your mind on the same page this morning? And do they go together with your physical body, the sensations in your physical body? Before we move out of this side, just take a couple moments and also maybe decide or remember what you want your practice to empower in you. So maybe really you're working on strength today or flexibility in a physical way. Or maybe you're actually much more interested in this inner soul tenacity, this power of being. Or maybe you're working on a virtue of being more generous or more kind. More joyful or more expressive. Now start to help yourself up here, and you're going to get some yogi choice. With the next posture, we're either going into both legs at the same time in saddle pose or sphinx pose. So Lily's already doing sphinx pose perfectly. Elbows right underneath the shoulders, hands apart, stretching your legs straight back. Or you can come onto both of your heels and lay back. You want to just make sure your knees don't go way up to the sky if you're laying backwards, or go really far apart. You want to keep them generally about hip distance. So when I do this pose, I sit on my heels because it makes a little bit more of a lower back bend. Pear does it by sitting in between his heels because it's a little softer, a little bit more gentle. But wherever you're at, just take a couple moments and really settle into the pose, soften into the pose. And absolutely, you might find that your saddle pose has this awesome transformative moment and it turns into a sphinx. Yes, Mila. But this is so much of where we want to be alive, that we can choose and we can change our choices. I want to share a poem that actually one of my yoga teachers shared the other day in the email. And it's by Pema Chodron, who is a Tibetan Buddhist monk and a prolific writer, absolutely beautiful writing. And she, I've been reading things from her in yoga classes for probably about 15 plus years. And reading her in my life, and she's one of these authors that she's able to really ground down some big ideas so that they are manageable and bite-sized and you can understand them. And she's has such a beautiful strength that her writing for me has been transformative. But let's see what you think. This is a very simple little poem. The truth The truth is that things don't really get solved. They come together and they fall apart. And they come together and they fall apart again. It's just like that. The healing comes from letting there be room for all of this to happen. Room for grief, for relief, for misery, for joy. The truth is that things don't really get solved. They come together and fall apart. They come together and fall apart again. It's just like that. The healing comes from letting there be room for all of this to happen. Room for grief, for relief, for misery, for joy. Now, this sentiment is one that is echoed in so many different places. Before Pema Chodron, Rumi, centuries before, like 600 years before, Rumi wrote a poem about, welcome to the guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every day, a new visitor. And it talks about that in our humanity, we have the suffering and the joy. We have these hard things and these gifts. Even, I just read also a poem by Nikita Gill, who is an Instagram poet, one could say. And she too echoes this sentiment again, that we may talk of suffering, but that suffering comes in a life that also has joy. That even in our lows, we can feel the pain or feel the sadness. And be reminded that the depth of our capacity to feel doesn't just move in one direction. So if we can feel deep suffering, if we can feel the sadness or the misery of ourselves or our fellow beings on this earth, we also can feel the joy and the celebration. And yes, you're right. Start to move up out of the pose. So there's different ways. You can roll to your side and just stretch your legs out. Whatever you need to do, you can come lying on your back or onto your belly, but find a position that's neutral and your back can recover a little bit. So one of the practices in like a daily yoga practice where you keep showing up onto the mat is that we're really practicing resilience. We're practicing, a capacity to feel. So moan and groan, wiggle around, allow the sensations to be released and move through your body. You can even moan and groan and, in freedom, especially if you're alone at home or with close friends. And then find your way, come into a seated pose, and we're going to do one butterfly pose before we start to invite the fire into our practice. So bring the bottoms of your feet together. You want about 2 hands length between your heels and your groin. You can grab onto your shins, lift up your chest, drop your head back, And then with your exhale, bring your chin to your chest and soften and roll down, letting your head hang, letting your head drop towards your feet, even if it just means your chin is starting to come towards your chest. So you can effort to get into the pose a little bit, find the right shape for your body. And then in the yin style, just see how much you can soften and let go. I sometimes imagine it like, earth that is ready and fertile to be planted. That's part of why we wait to plant after the spring rains, because it actually, it softens up the earth after it's been hard and frozen in a typical winter. You can't plant in a hard and frozen earth. You need the softness and the warmth. So notice where you have to pay a little bit more attention to let go. You can half sleep in this pose. So just like we have this experience of both challenges and gifts, suffering and joys. In our practice, we have the elements of yin and the elements of yang. And even in our yin poses, there's a little bit of yang. And even in our yang poses, we really want to cultivate some yin in the pose. Ever striving for this balance and harmony that is a picture of health. And with your next inhale, roll up. Maybe shake out your legs, wiggle them around, do a couple of rib rolls, shake out your elbows like a little chicken. Oh, yeah, baby. Shake out your hands. And then come into a comfortable seat. And we're going to do 3 ohms before we start our fiery, hopefully sweaty, hopefully challenging, if I do my job right, yang practice. So bring your hands together, feel the ground below you, lift up to the heavens above, and with your eyes closed, just picture a moment, or picture, you don't have to picture the moment, but picture that you're not alone in this moment, that we're sharing this practice together, even if we're not physically in the same space. And then empty your breath. Take a deep inhale. Ah. 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 And then release your hands and find your way into tabletop. So bring your knees underneath your hips, your hands underneath your shoulders. And stretch your right leg straight back, tucking your toes under and just pulsing a couple times, stretching. So your toes on the ground and you're stretching your calf. So you're really trying to open up the muscle in the back of your lower right leg. So pulse a couple times. Yes. And then pull your lower belly up and in and lift your right leg long and stretch your left arm out straight in front of you. Now reach from the inside of your right foot all the way through your body to the inside of your left hand. Inhale, get long, and with your exhales, yes, Mila, bring your elbow and knee to touch, belly lifting up. Inhale, stretch your body long. Exhale, tuck it in. Inhale, stretch your body long. Exhale, tap it in, arch your back, pull your belly up. Inhale, stretch your body long. Exhale, pull it in. Una más, one more time. Stretch long. Exhale, pull in. I know that's kind of cheating. You still have to stretch long here. Reach it long, and then peel your right heel behind your left toes. Let your left hand come down, and then liberate your right hand. Come into supported side plank. Beautiful. Now this might be as far as you go, or maybe you can lift up your right leg. And maybe if you lift up your right leg, you can stretch your right arm over your ear, palm facing the ground. Stretch nice and long with your inhale, and with your exhale, bend your elbows and knees and come into this half supported crunch. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, crunch it in. Elbow to knee. One more time. Inhale, stretch long, crunch it in. Inhale, stretch long. And then with your exhale, bring your right hand down to the ground, bring your right knee down to the ground. Inhale, lift up into cow. And then exhale, push the ground away, pull your belly up, lifting into cat. Inhale, lift your chest, your heart, and your hips. Exhale, push the ground away, pull your belly up. Inhale, open up the whole front of your body. Exhale, open up the whole back of your body. And then inhale, come to neutral here and reach your left leg back, pulsing with your left heel. So he's just keeps the toes on the ground and is pulsing, so you open up the calf. The calf is a really hard muscle to relax. Beautiful. Now engage your lower abdominals and inhale, lift up your left leg as an extension of your spine, and then reach your right arm forward to balance out your left leg. Feel like you're getting longer and really draw everything to the center line of your spine, lined up. Yes, very nice. For radical practice, just a hint of a smile. Now with your inhale, get long. With your exhale, crunch it in. Inhale, long. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, long. Exhale, contract and lift your belly. Inhale, long. Exhale, pull it in. And then inhale, stretch long and peel your left heel behind your right toes. Bring your right hand down and lift your left arm up, supported something, Vasisthasana. Now this might be as far as you go. Or if you have a little bit more left, lift up your left leg and then shoot your arm over your ear, stretching your fingertips. Feel your body get long and strong here. And then with your exhale, bend your knee and elbow, coming into the side crunch. Inhale, get long. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale, get long. Exhale, crunch. And then inhale, stretch long and bring your left hand down, left knee down. Inhale, lift up into cow. And then in cow, you're going to be a little sassy cow here. You can be a big sassy cow too, I guess. Maybe some moves. Feel like you're trying to bring your left shoulder to your left hip and your right shoulder to your right hip. And believe me, like, no one's going to critique your sassy cow. So do it like nobody's watching. Yeah. Gorgeous. And then take an inhale, come back to center, lift your head and heart a little bit more. And with your exhale, pull your belly up and come into floating cat. So you're going to float your knees off the yoga mat. Feel your belly lifting up. Let it start to burn a little bit. We're starting our fire here. Include your Ujjayi breath like bellows. So we're going to practice getting challenged and hot and working hard so that we can be graceful in the rest of our day. And then bring your knees down, tuck your toes under, and with your exhale, lift up to downward facing dog. So feel your fingers spread out, pushing your hands organically down and back. Now, everybody, bend your knees. Let your knees hover above the yoga mat, and then tilt your lower back and reach your sit bones up to the sky. Like you're really trying to get your sassiness up to the heavens. Beautiful. Now, feel how much you can extend your legs. Where's your flexibility here? For a lot of us, we're gonna practice having a small bend in our knees so that we have true freedom in our spine. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way. Look forward and then hop your feet lightly in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Drag your chest forward. Exhale, release and bow down. Let your head drop. Your knees can be soft. Then push down with your feet and roll up to the sky. Stretch up tall, reach up, touch the ceiling. And with your exhale, bring your hands to heart center, Samastitihi. Relax your hands at the end of your breath and inhale, stretch your arms up, sun salutation A, lift up tall. Soften your knees as you bow forward, let your head drop. Inhale, halfway lift. So it's a flat back, shoulders coming away from your ears, and then step back to plank. We're gonna breathe here for a little bit. So again, we're increasing the fire in our body. So you wanna be very strong. You're lifting up in between your shoulder blades. You're pushing back with your heels as you stretch your chest forward. Now notice, can you add a little bit of a smile? Can you make it fierce and light? Take another full inhale. And then inch forward to your tippy toes. Exhale, coming through chaturanga all the way down to the ground. Flip your toes over. Your power starts at your feet. Push down with your feet. Engage your thighs. Lift your knees. And then inhale, low cobra. Lift your hands to show that your back's doing the work. Like, hey, look, I don't need hands. Yeah. And then exhale, come to downward facing dog. Bend your knees a little bit. Let your hips lift up and back. Feel that instead of checking out when you come to downward facing dog, you check in. Allow your breath to find a rhythm. And it's more, you breathe too much rather than too little. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way in Kumbhaka. Keep your breath out and lightly hop your feet in between your hands quietly. Inhale, drag your chest forward. Exhale, release and bow down. Let your head drop. Your knees can be soft. Push down with your feet. Rise up tall. Reach up to the sky. And then exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, stretch your arms up high. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, this time chaturanga, halfway down from plank. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let your knees be soft. And it's like your booty's happy, like, woohoo, I'm lifting up my booty to the heavens. Yeah, a nice wiggle always helps that if you're not sure. Now this time, you're gonna bend your elbows. Let your elbows hover above the mat and squeeze the bony part of your elbows together. You can bend your knees a little bit more. This is turbo dog. And if you're ever bored in a yoga class, just start doing turbo dog instead of downward facing dog, and you like up your, the workout. Beautiful. Take another full inhale as you come back to downward facing dog. Exhale your breath all the way, and then lightly hop your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, drag your chest forward. Exhale, release and bow down. Let your head drop. Push down with your feet, roll up to the sky, stretch up tall, and with your exhale, come home, samastitihi. And then bend your knees, let your hands just drop down to see that you can touch the floor. And then you're gonna get strong with your legs and you're gonna squeeze your thighs together, toes and heels touching, or your heels can be slightly separated, and lift up to Utkatasana. Now again, you want a little bit of this anterior tilt in your lower back. You wanna imagine that you're trying to cultivate glorious butt muscles. You want fantastic booty for spiritual enlightenment. Reach through your fingertips. Look up towards the sky. Take another full inhale as your hips slide down, and with your exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Drag your chest forward. Now either jump to chaturanga or step to plank. Lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. And with your exhale, bend your right knee and try to bring it to your right armpit. It's way above your elbow, yeah. Inhale, stretch your leg long, and with your exhale, try to bring your right knee to your right armpit. Inhale, stretch your right leg long. Exhale, bring your knee to your chest, and then step your right foot next to your right thumb and rise up, crescent lunge. Your back heel is lifted. One breath, and then exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, engage, stretch your left leg up to the sky, and with your exhale, bend your knee and try to bring it to your armpit. It's inside. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, bring your left knee to your armpit. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, bring your knee to your chest. And then step your foot forward and rise up, crescent lunge. One breath, and then exhale, travel all the way back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let your breath continue to be a rhythm. Let your knees be soft. You can even lift up your toes and spread out your toes here. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way and float your feet quietly in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow down. Let your head drop. Bend your knees, drop your butt. Inhale, Utkatasana. And with your exhale, bring your hands to heart center. You're gonna stay lifted here, a little different than we usually do. And just twist to your right. Knees squeezing together. Then inhale to center, staying lifted here, and then twist to your left. Like it's a little plate, kind of, it feels like. But it's the upper back twist. So lift up, Mila. And then come back to center. Stretch your arms up on your inhale, and with your exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky, and with your exhale, try to bring your right knee to your left elbow. Inhale, stretch your right leg long. Again, bring your right knee, left elbow. Inhale, stretch your leg long. With your exhale, bring your knee to your chest. Deliver your right foot to your right thumb. Rise up, crescent lunge. And with your exhale, bring your hands to heart center. You're gonna stay lifted here, strong back leg. And then with your next exhale, do a little twist again to the right. So you're not coming down yet. Very nice. Take another full inhale as you get taller. Exhale, see if you have a little bit more of a twist here. Then inhale, back to center, stretch your arms up. Exhale, open up, warrior two. It should feel glorious and long and extended. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky, and with your exhale, bring your left knee to touch your right elbow. Inhale, stretch your leg long, and with your exhale, again, across your body to the right elbow. Inhale, stretch your leg long, and with your exhale, step your foot all the way forward and rise up, crescent lunge, strong legs, and with your exhale, bring your hands to heart center, and a little twist to your left. So you're really trying to twist your upper back. Stay strong with your back leg. Push your back heel into thin air like it's a slab of granite. Beautiful. Feel your inner thighs organically squeezing together. Then inhale, lift up, crescent lunge. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let your knees be soft, your booty happy. Notice if you've got some fire going. Maybe you have the added addition of the Swedish sun. Feel your own resolve. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way and lightly hop your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow down, let your head drop. Bend your knees, drop your booty. Inhale, Utkatasana. With your exhale, bring your hands to heart center, and this time, twist to your right, and then drop your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Now, we're gonna stay here for a couple breaths. So good rule of thumb, you wanna get your butt grounded and your heart happy, right? So let your hips sink down and your chest lift up. Gorgeous. So, and you're praying for earnest. Feel your left knee and pull it back to match your right knee. Step your feet together for more power. And then stay low and brave. Rise up. Rise up. Utkatasana. Stay low and rise up. And with your exhale, bring your hands to heart center and twist to the other side. You're pushing your palms together. If you're not getting enough feeling for that, you can make your bottom hand a fist and push down on your fist. You want to feel it twist and open up your chest. Find the weight in your heels. And then inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Move your chest forward. Fuel up your abdominals. And exhale, sweet chaturanga. Facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky, and with your exhale, take your right knee to your right elbow and enjoy a push-up. Inhale, stretch your right leg long. With your exhale, try it again. Inhale, stretch your right leg long, and with your exhale, step your right foot all the way forward to your right. Rise up, crescent lunge. And we're gonna take some breaths here. So take a moment, bend your left knee. Notice that gives you more freedom to tuck your booty. And then strengthen through your left leg, pushing your left heel up and back, lunging deeply with your right thigh. Take another full inhale, and with your exhale, bring your hands to heart center, twist to your right, and then bring your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Now, yogi's choice. You can either stay here, or if you want to practice a little challenge with your balance, just start to lift up your back leg. Very nice. And when we're challenging our balance, it means sometimes we fall. And then we challenge our resilience by getting back up. Beautiful. Bring your left leg back to where it was. Inhale, lift up, crescent lunge. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Make your hands into fists or wrap your thumbs and start to slowly hinge into half moon. And then release your right hand down to the ground just in front of your pinky toes. Get very strong with your legs. Pull your chin to your chest and slowly start your gaze going up to the sky. You might have to adjust with the windows, but if you have it, stretch your right arm over your ear. And then if you have it, see if maybe, did I say right arm? I meant left arm. Stretch it long over your ear. And then with your exhale, bring your elbow and knee together. Oh, yes, I did it. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, touch. Inhale, stretch long. And with your exhale, come into standing splits. Let your left hand come down. Extend your left leg to the sky. Maybe bring one hand at a time to your ankle. So this is a weird resting pose. We don't usually rest in standing splits, but notice, can you cultivate a little softness of the yin, even while you have the yang of the posture? Again, yogi's choice. Place your hands in front of you, set up for chaturanga. Inhale, halfway lift, one leg or two. Exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up to the sky. With your exhale, bring your left knee to your left elbow. Enjoy a push-up. Inhale, stretch your leg long and do it again, baby. Inhale, stretch your leg long. And then with your exhale, bring your knee to your chest and step your left foot to your left thumb. So it takes a different kind of power to stay in these active poses. Again, bend your right knee and tuck your tail, and then power through your back heel, making your right leg really super strong. Reach through your fingertips, stretch your arms wide, Izzy love. Yeah, baby. And then with your exhale, bring your hands to heart center and twist to your left, hooking your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Now, if you want a challenge here, you stay with your left knee bent, slide your weight forward to your left foot and float your right leg straight back. And it's okay to be wobbly in our challenge. That's what they're for. Beautiful, perfect pair. Then step your right foot back lightly. Inhale, nice Brigitte, good catch. Inhale, crescent lunge. And with your exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then wrap your fingers around your thumbs or make fists and slowly hinge into half moon. And then release your left fingers to the ground. Stretch through your right fingers all the way up, keeping your right leg engaged. You want to be able to see your toes in front of your chest. And then if you've got a little bit more, stretch your top arm over your ear towards the front of your mat. And with your exhale, bend your right elbow and right knee and touch them. Inhale, get long. Exhale, side crunch here. Inhale, get long. One more side crunch. You got this. Then inhale, get long. Stretch your right arm up to the sky. And then with your exhale, bring your right hand down. Square your right hip. Ekapada Uttanasana. Stretch your right leg up to the sky. Reach into it. Imagine you can touch the ceiling. Is that too much? Maybe one hand at a time to your ankle. Noticing that when you believe you can actually step onto the sky, the whole posture changes. Straighten your back leg, Mila love. Yeah. And then bring your hands down. Keep your leg floating. Inhale, halfway leg lift. Don't overthink it. And hop back, chaturanga. Oh, just do it. Yeah. Now, inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Let your hips be sassy. And then jump your feet through or just drop your knees to the ground. Coming onto your back. Yeah. Bridge or wheel. I know you're out of breath. I know you're sweaty, and this is the moment we've been waiting for. So remember, for an easy life, oh, never mind. Why would you want that? Inhale, lift up. So the idea is that we challenge ourselves in our yoga mat. We go to our breathless state, as my good friend Diana says. We go to the edge of our practice so that we can become familiar in this place where we're challenged, where it's easy to get upset. We're confronted with our weakness. We're confronted with our own fire. And then come down to the ground. Really nice. Let your feet slide out. Let your knees fall together. Just take a full breath in and a full breath out. Bridge or wheel. So set up your feet hip distance apart. Let your heels slide out. Find the power in your legs and lift up. If you're going into full wheel or preparing for it, bring your hands next to your ears and then squeeze your elbows together. Turn your toes back in, but yes, beautiful. So wherever you are is the right place. So do the work there. Sometimes it's even harder just to back off. If I'm like, yeah, go. And you're like, no, that's not the right thing for me. Find your power. Trust yourself. And then slowly come down, one vertebrae at a time. Slide your feet out as wide as the yoga mat. Let your knees fall back together. And then bridge or wheel. So this is the last back bend of our practice together today. So let it be fiery. Let it be what you didn't imagine. Notice if maybe you can stay there one more breath than you actually anticipated. Or maybe it's even more than that. Be ready to be surprised. You were surprised. We can start bringing out the yogi toes. If you're sliding on your mat a lot, if you're starting to sweat as the weather gets warmer, you can get these nice towels that don't slip. If you're in your back bend, you're amazing. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, none. And then slowly come down. Just let your knees drop together as your feet slide out. And maybe take one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. Feel the fire in your body and notice that you can handle this. Let your breath slow down. Let your body recover. Everything's going to be all right. And now you're going to take your right knee and put it over your left knee. And then lift up your feet. So your feet are lined up with your knees and try to stretch your feet back towards your face. So we're going into reclining Gomukhasana. And then slide your hands maybe just past your knees and start to pull your shins towards your face. So you start at your knees, start at the top, do the over grip. I don't know how you would say it. And then slide to your shins. Yeah, there you go. And maybe you can hold on to your flexed feet. And what you want to feel is that as you lovingly pull your legs towards your face, not your buttocks, so lift your heels higher, Mila. What you want to feel is you want to feel a beautiful stretch in your booty muscles and your glutes, gluteus maximi. And what you don't feel so directly, or maybe you do, is actually a softening in your lower back. So this is helping release your lower back as well as stretch your butt muscles. Toppen, eller hur? And then just release your hands, maybe slide your hips a little bit to the right, and then drop your knees as they are to the left. Let your right arm stretch out, looking to your right. Yeah, very nice. Take a full breath in, and with your exhale, just sigh out. Maybe even noticed in your practice how much your practice contained. You might have had moments where you felt light and strong, and other moments where you didn't. Our capacity to be present and alive trains us or puts us in a place where we're going to experience the whole gamut, the whole range of emotions, feelings in our body, feelings in our heart, ideas, thoughts. But we want to be able to be present for all of them. Inhale, come back to center, unwind your legs, and bring your left knee over your right knee. Then lift up your feet so they're level with your knees. And before you use your hands, try to just effort your right foot to your left ear and your left foot to your right ear. And then take your hands, take your hands at your knees and slide them down your shins, maybe all the way to your ankles, maybe all the way to your feet. And start to lovingly pull your shins or your feet towards your face. So this posture is a reclining, or the Supta Gomukhasana, which is a reclining cow face pose. So you can imagine in this scenario, your toes are the horns of the cow. And your thighs are like the skull, the head. So we often do this pose seated. It's quite intense, even seated. We want to start to learn that when we have our knees within our hips, then it releases our lower back. As soon as we have our knees wider than our hips, it actually starts to cut off sensation to our lower back. So not being able to feel something isn't necessarily what we're going for. We want to be able to practice releasing something. And then release your hands and just let your feet be as they are. Shift your hips a little bit to the left and drop your knees to the right. Yes. Stretch your left arm out. Take a full inhale, and with your exhale, just sigh out. Oh. And then find your way back to center. Stretch your legs long. Find your way into Shavasana. Feel free to cover yourself if you want. You want that one? That one. Let the ground hold you. And in your stillness, allow your practice to take root. Palms open to receive. Eyes closed and trusting. And feel the solidness of being here on earth help you relax your physical body. If your lower back hurts, you can have your knees bent, but slide your feet out to the side and just let your knees fall together. It should feel more passive and nice. Or that. With your next inhale, invite your breath to the edges of your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes and maybe smile for something you're grateful for. And then roll over onto your right hand side, hugging your knees to your chest. Feel the vitality and the vibrancy. Thank you so much for practicing. And then help yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Allow your hands to meet at heart center. Do you want to touch the dantana? Stand tall, sit tall. Close your eyes, ground down to the earth to feel freedom and lightness to lift up towards the sky. We're going to sound one Om. So empty your breath. Take a deep inhale. Ah. And then bring your prayer hands to your third eye. Invite the divine light. And as we bow forward together, we say, Namaste. And so much love. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Make some noise. Thank you so much for being here.